Welcome back, Algebra 2 students. We're going to go ahead and look at checkpoint B from Unit 1. This is going to be a problem that will help us prepare for our Unit 1 exam. Let's see what's going on with this problem. It says, write an equation to define the sequence G recursively. Ooh, so recursively, which type of equation is that? I think that's the one where things are repeating each other, right? That recursive, like reoccurring, like you need to use the same thing over and over again. So if you remember correctly, we have to give our sequence, or in this case, our equation, a function name. In this case, they tell us that we're using the letter G, sequence G. So that means we have to say G of n equals, well, how do I say the previous sequence? Well, the previous sequence is said by G of n minus 1. Hopefully you have that part correct. If you have this set up correct when it says recursive, you're going to be doing just fine when it comes to the test, okay? So now I want to know what my pattern is, because my pattern is what goes here, right? That's what goes there, my pattern. So from 2 to 7, what am I doing? From 2 to 7, am I multiplying? Am I adding? Well, it looks more like I'm going to be multiplying. Sorry, not multiplying. It looks like I'm going to be adding. So I'm adding plus 5. Let's see, does that work for the next part? 7 plus 5, that gives me 12. That works. 12 plus 5 gives me 17, and then so on, right? So this does work. So that means my pattern is going to be plus 5. When you're asked to write the formula for a recursive sequence, when you're asked to write a recursive formula for a sequence, you need to tell me what value do I start with. In this case, I can say G of 1, because that's my first term. This right here is my first term, okay? G of 1 equals 2. So if I know that that's my first term, if I want to find the next one, which ones do I start plugging in? Well, I can start by saying n is greater than or equal to 2, right? I put a 2 here if I'm giving my G of 1. So if I see a 2, if I see a 1, I'm going to put a 2 right there, okay? Hopefully that helps remember set up the equation properly. All right, that was it for checkpoint B. Let's move on to the next part, and I'll see you in the next video.